All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing day yesterday, and hope you're having a great morning today. Good morning, Norm. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right, hanging in there. Welcome back. I sincerely apologize. I wasn't here for your return yesterday, but congratulations to you and your wife on your new baby.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And I completely understand. I hope you're feeling a lot better. I know you were not feeling well yesterday, so hopefully you're recuperating a little better this morning. All right,
If
guys.
you
hmm
if you hear any weird groan, it's not because I'm having any kind of fun. It's because I'm in immense pain. So
Yeah, yeah. No, we could hear slight pain coming through the speakers this morning. So hopefully you get better pretty soon. All right, guys, let's get to it.
thank you,
Sorry,
man.
sorry for being a little late this morning. My computer decides as soon as I hit the live button that it's going to take a crap on me and have to restart. So that takes a while to boot up everything. But here we are. So let's get right to it. And then for some reason, my watch list usually saves here, and it didn't save yesterday. And I just remember two tickers we had. We had M because I traded it. And then I can't remember anything else we had on here. So I'm going to skip this for now. I think probably Roku was another one as well. But looking at M, also Andrew traded this one. I want to just go over how nice this was yesterday. Let's look at the 1 and the 5 as well. Right over here, here's our 5 minute chart. Just look how beautiful this opening range breakdown was, right? You get a nice deep pullback right to the moving averages, the VWAP. That's the signal for an entry. And then look at this beautiful drop. Andrew also took around this area here and caught this amazing drop here. And then we had some levels here. We were talking in the chat room about the daily levels we had, right? We had this 1493, right? We had this 1493 we wanted to get to. Several members in the chat room took this trade with us as well. Look at the level 1493, how we got right to that. We're pretty close to it, and we cover as we got close to this area here. So again, just a beautiful trade. And there was many more yesterday, but for the sake of time, we're going to skip those. And look at our gappers list. It's quite fancy here this morning. MYOV was another one yesterday as well. Actually, let's talk about this one because this was on fire yesterday. It took off nicely. Even the pre-market was pretty nice. Thor took some trades in the pre-market on here. Andrew took some trades on here. Brian, a lot of people took advantage of this opportunity on MYOV, and then from there it's just collapsed and became pretty choppy after the open. So let's get right to it, guys. Let's start over with what we have on our gappers list. But before we do that, Norm, any news on the SPY and what we can expect today? I know you might have been out of pocket a bit, so I'm probably not hearing a lot what's going on. But anything sticking out this morning?
Yeah, I mean, we're down a little over a quarter of a percent, recently, and you can even just see it on a chart. We have just been essentially up, gapping up. The worst we've been is essentially flat over the
Mm-hmm.
last couple of weeks. We're finally deviating from that a little bit with this pullback. We're well off the lows in the morning. We were down almost a half a percent. There are some renewed trade tensions, I guess either yesterday or last night at some point. Trump threatened new tariffs on China or higher tariffs on China if they don't keep going forward with this current phase one of the trade deal and this doesn't work out. Um, Not a whole lot of economic data today or this week. There was a little bit yesterday, and then today the FOMC minutes come out from the last meeting 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's not anticipated to have as large of an impact as normal as Powell is testifying to Congress last week. So it's doubtful that anything new will come out of this that wasn't said or alluded to in that.
Gotcha. All right. So with that said, we'll see what happens with all that happening as well. I'm just gonna check something right on here, guys. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Just make sure I see your comments on YouTube and in the chat room as well. So let's get to it, guys. Let's see what we have in our gappers list. Again, we have a lot on here. We have some good numbers, up 13%, up 10, down 23, down 14. So these are going to be some good ones to watch. PDD, I do recall watching that one before. So let's see what's causing some of this ruckus this morning. Also, I see a lot of the pot stocks of the top. CGC, CRON are on here this morning, so maybe something's going on with these guys that might be affecting that sector. Let's start over with I. So I got some great volume today, 485,000. It is up 13.8 as of right now. And this thing, again, it's just been taking a mass hit the last couple of days. Didn't sell off too much yesterday, so it's kind of trying to find some kind of bottom here. It's bouncing back a bit, but this pre-market activity does not look all that great. And if you look at the play yesterday, the intraday action yesterday, I did take a look at that. I did have this on my watch list. it really didn't do all that much yesterday. So again, today we got some volume, we got some activity happening here, but again, not looking all that great. I do love the daily chart, and then it could be setting up for a possible bounce if it can find some kind of support here. But again, this thing is really weak, guys. So you can see here, try to bounce here, and then look, the next stage is a huge drop all the way down from 14 to $8, $6. So we'll keep it on here, guys. It's active today. We'll see what we can get out of that one. MYOV, you know how I feel about these stocks. Once they have a big move up, right? The next day is usually not as great, can be very choppy. Not saying there will not be any opportunities, but you just got to be extra cautious and make sure you don't just take anything that does not look, A type setup that looks very good with a good edge and opportunity to take this, either long for today. Again, pre-market activity's got some volume today. Obviously, a lot sitting on this one candle here. This one is 149,000 at the moment. But again, just these second days on these type of stocks, you want to be extra careful with. Anyone sitting here, that could be people having FOMO today. I want to take this for a run, and it could be done. It could be done. You're gonna see people dropping, number of shares here, especially if they're stuck up here long, right? They're gonna bail out. Or if they're here and say, you know what, I'm going to let this run. If it gets to my stop here, I'll bail out. And if it gets lower, they'll jump out and this thing can start dropping pretty fast. So just be cautious with that one today. But definitely it's got some volume. Looks like it is in play. Target, wow. Target up 10% this morning. So this is a nice pop for Target. I do like the daily chart as well. It's a little choppy right from here to here, but look how beautiful it starts trading here, right? Look at this beautiful trend right here, how it's trading nicely. Then we're able to finally test that 114, and then we're gapping up nicely this morning above that. So 1.2 million shares, up 10.3. I like the way this is looking today. We're definitely going to keep an eye on this one. Norm, great news for Target, looks like this morning.
I would say great news for Target. Yeah, they reported earnings early this morning. I woke up to the alert on it. They just killed their earnings per share, their revenue, and raised guidance. So they're being rewarded for that. And I anticipate some upgrades coming in either throughout the day or tomorrow morning.
All right, excellent. Are they at all-time high? These guys, what's the deal? Let's go back and
I
see.
believe so, yeah.
They are? Okay, beautiful. All right, so that even makes it more interesting, guys. Keep that in mind, all-time high. So no levels above that. But interesting when these stocks are getting, at that all-time high level. Next, we have CGC. So we have two POS stocks at least showing up here. CGC being one of them. 253,000 shares traded so far. We are up 6.1 on CGC. So this stock is, again, all these POS stocks have been taking a huge hit, and every time they seem to level out, like here look like it just found the base at this bottom here around 1850. And again, not able to recover, and then a few days later it gaps down nicely, and now we're getting another bounce one more time. So pre-market activity overall, the actual pre-market does not look great, guys. Look at this, it's very choppy. It does have some volume, but it's not trading pretty well right now in pre-market. We're gonna keep this one on here, guys. It does have some volume, and let's see if we can get anything better going out of CGC. The next one on here is let's look at Cron, just because we're looking at these POS stocks this morning. Cron is another one, again, doesn't have great pre-market activity here, pretty flat at the moment, and they're gapping up 2.1. Again, similar chart as well as CGC. These stocks have been getting hit pretty hard over the last couple of months. Overall, Norm, anything sticking out in these two POS stocks on this area?
It's the whole sector. So there's a bill in the House working its way through essentially to legalize pot in the U.S. So we'll see where it goes. With where things sit in the government in this country right now, I'm not sure that they can get anything passed, but it should be interesting. I guess it's giving a little hope that they'll maybe these companies, if this passes, it might be able to bleed off some of their excess supply. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's something that takes forever. I know here in Jersey they try to do that. That's what the governor actually got voted for. That was one of their biggest things he was trying to do. He has not still been able to do that. So it's one of those tough things to be able to pass and get through. So we'll see how they play out today. Again, both of their pre-market activities not looking sexy at all. So they might not make our final list. We'll see how they end up later around 9:15ish or so. MGP 741,000 shares traded here. We have looked at this one in the past. Wow, pre-market activity, even with this great volume, is just nasty, guys. Look how choppy this is. Right, just look at the pure chop here. You have 200,000 on this one candle here. So again, you're not getting anything great out of this. The daily chart is okay, it's decent. We do have we can spot some levels of support and resistance. You can clearly see here when we traded this around this time frame, we have some very clear levels. But again, gapping down 3%, some great volume. Pre-market is not looking all that great. Norm, MGP, anything interesting or exciting happening here?
No, not really. This is a REIT, and
Oh, okay.
it's a REIT for MGM, and so that's they're usually pretty hard to trade, and they've got a secondary offering too. So it's kind of where that this is.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll take this off because REITs they just don't trade well at all, guys. Let's look at LOL. Yes, we missed lows. LOW. Sorry. So we missed lows here. So lows was active yesterday as well. And today, this morning, they're gapping up 4.6, 418. I'm gonna remove all these levels. We got way too many here. We have 418,000 shares traded so far. Pre-market activity is not looking all that great, but this is normal for lows. And usually, the majority of the 90 stocks do not have a great pre-market activity. It's just something they do. I don't know why. Unless there's some significant news, their pre-market activity seems pretty light in regards to action. They don't get that nice flow, although they have 419,000 shares traded. Also, there's a bigger stock as well on the higher side. So we're gapping above this area of resistance, which I like. We had it here, we had it here. So this is interesting in that sense. Norm, they were they were selling short, not selling, they're selling off yesterday quite a bit, and today they're gapping up. Are we earnings? What's causing the pop this morning?
Yeah. So, well, yesterday Home Depot reported earnings before the market opened that were disappointing, gave disappointing outlook. So then Lowe's sold off as a sympathy move to Home Depot, especially because their earnings were this morning. And then
Hmm.
they announced better earnings this morning. So there's really a divergence between the two companies, even though they're in essentially the same space.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Again, I like the fact that on the daily it's getting above all these levels of resistance prior to resistance, so this can be nice for a possible play here. Next we have AMRN, one stock we have traded quite a bit in the past, or at least looked at it. I don't recall trading it much, but at least we look at this one quite a bit. Today they are down 5.6, guys, 286,000 traded so far. Again, they had a pretty nice daily chart going here. Then it just got a little funky over here, not looking all that clean, all that great. Pre-market is also a little bit all over the place. This is one that's going to get the volume, is going to trade, usually does. And the last couple of days, you can see here, we have been getting some really good volume on this one, right, compared to what it usually does. So could be interesting to watch this one. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that great. We might drop it off, but we'll keep it on here just in case it gets something interesting. It also could be one that we put in our secondary list as well. URBN is on here. So URBN is down 14.5 right now, 180,000 shares traded at the moment. Pre-market is not looking all that great neither. I mean, this is very, very choppy pre-market action, right? We want to see that flow that we talk about, guys, right? Some nice patterns going on here. Now, this does not mean that this stock might not trade well, might not open strong or weak or whatever it decides to do. But you just, when you have a nice flow like you did with MYOV yesterday and any of these other stocks, Macy's also had a beautiful pre-market activity. Forget some of the other ones that had just an amazing pre-market activity. The open tends to be a little bit cleaner, right? That's what we're looking for, a clean open, so we can possibly trade it long or short to grab some opportunities. This one here is not looking all that great. I do like the drop. It is down quite a bit, 14%, and we're sitting kind of in this area of prior support and resistance, which also makes it interesting because if we can lose that support, well, we can run. If it holds, it can be a nice bounce to try to cover some of this gap today if the news is not all that significant. With that said, in regards to news and catalyst, Norm, what's moving this one today towards the downside?
Yeah, they reported earnings last night, had a bad quarter, missed
Hmm.
estimates for earnings and revenues. This stock has kind of had a rough time in the past. Just the whole retail sector. They've actually had a hell of a run, like a 50% run since the end of the summer.
Hmm.
And then it looks like they're maybe getting a little bit of a breakdown from this ascending wedge they've been on in the daily since about mid August. So that's what's going on. This other to note, this does have a relatively high short float at 24%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a pretty on the higher side, so be aware of that. Last one on our gappers list this morning is PDD. Let's throw it on here. PDD. So this morning they are down 23% with a decent pre-market activity, guys. So this thing's been trading very active since 5 this morning. So A lot going on with PDD. Looks like we're losing all this area of support that we had here, and here. So again, nice drop, and then we're kind of found some footing here at the next significant area of support right over here. So interesting stuff going on here. 5.1 million shares traded. That's quite a lot of shares, Norm. What's the deal with this one?
Yeah, so they reported earnings this morning. I have not really dug into this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a little harder to get the succinct version of these Chinese stocks, but
Yeah.
they're
Yep.
getting hit with some of these. They're getting hit with some of these tariff problems and
Mm.
trade issues, and so their earnings report was disappointing. Had a bigger loss than they expected.
Yeah, yeah, no, this thing's dropping quite a bit here today, so definitely worth taking a look at this morning. The pre-market activity is actually looking pretty decent so far. All right, let's get over to our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers, DFFN penny stocks, PDD. We have NYMT. Daily chart looks a little wacky here. I don't like the way the daily chart looks. And what I mean by that is you have a lot of wicks on here. There's no patterns here. Also, like, well, what's the pattern? What are we doing here, right? Look at the way this is forming. It's just nothing here that you can possibly find any kind of good levels on. So do not like the way this is trading. It does have great volume traded,
Right.
3.5.
Another rate too.
Oh, another REIT. Yeah, there we go. So again, just
Yeah, it's
something
garbage.
that's not tradable garbage. We'll skip this. ARAV. This one is active this morning. 1.6 up 238 hundred. 238 this morning. So quite a lot. But guys, again, gotta be careful with this one today. Pretty active. Pre-market action is looking great. What's the flow? What do we have here on ARAV? This is 7.5. So we're going to throw this down here. This is the low flow of the day, guys. This one is moving nicely at the moment. As usual, we tell you if you're going to trade for the low flow team, if you are going to trade, this the most important thing is risk management. You got to manage your risk properly in these type of stocks. So today this thing opened, the low of this one is $7. It is up to 9. The high is at 90 now, 29.6, right? So you got a what, $20+ range here just this morning. So again, just kind of tells you how aggressive this is moving today. So worth watching. We'll get some levels for this. Do we have anything? Has this traded even before? Oh yeah, we do have some levels here around that $22 mark, looks like. So we'll take a look at that. QQQ Nasdaq indicator slightly down today. CGIX, this one's also active this morning. CGIX, it's got a good pre-market activity, some good volume. What's the float? CGIX. 1.6, of course. So another one for the low flow side that's trading pretty well this morning, guys. Got a great pre-market activity. This is what you want to see on these type of low flows pre-market activity. MYOV had a great pre-market activity that also looked like this one yesterday. That is what you want to look for in these type of stocks.
I want to
TVIX,
know what's going on in the
yeah.
last week that every company worth less than $5 million has found a cure to cancer.
Yeah, yeah. they're all funded together. It's amazing. Oh God, yeah. This is good. This is crazy.
Nobody's going to die anymore. It's
It's
nuts.
insane.
Anyway,
It's insane. FCEL, this one here, penny stock, always on this list, not doing anything great. AMD, let's see what AMD is up to. So AMD, I traded well yesterday. I took it off my list, and I think it might have had a great day just for the heck of it. Let's just look at what it did yesterday. Yeah, see, this is what we talk about, right? AMD, wait that first hour. Right, if you wait that first hour, look what it does. Right, we mentioned this how it usually tends to go on this beautiful trend trades, and look at it here again. And I should be upset for saying this and not going back to AMD and looking at what it's doing after an hour and a half. Just look how beautiful this trade is. So, all right, AMD's today's daily chart is looking great. Not doing much in the pre-market action right now. It's pretty flat, but again, you are going to get the volume. AMD could be a good one for a secondary list. PHIO penny stock. We'll skip that one. ARVA we have. CGI. X we have as well, low flow stock that's trading very active this morning. NYSZ, no volume, only 25 this morning so far. Is gapping up 36%. And also look at this daily chart. This is a horrible daily chart. And the reason, guys, because every candle is overlapping the previous candle, right? There's no flow, there's no pattern. How do you find levels here, right? Besides one line here and one line here going over a couple of months. So again, not anything you want to be trading when you see that type of a daily chart. SGLB, horrible. KNSA, this one doesn't have all the volumes, just 21,000. CYAD, also not looking great, no volume. ENG, also nothing happening here. BCLI, same. FLNT, not great. And last one, STMX, also not doing anything. Norm, what do you like this morning besides what we have on this list?
I have not really been able to dig into a whole lot different. And like you said, without even turning on my platform yesterday, uh, I am I am a
Hmm.
little bit behind this morning. I'm still looking. I like some of the things we've got on this list today, though. I do like Target. It looks interesting to me.
Yeah.
Lowe's looks interesting specifically, so I'll have my eye on those. And if one of these biotechs can come up with a cure, an instant cure to torn rib cartilage, I would be immensely grateful as well.
It will be all in. Absolutely. All right, guys. What do you guys have on your end? I see we have some here. AVYA. Let's take a look at that. So AVYA, I do not like this daily chart, guys. It had a great pop here, was active. I recall watching this during this time, but right now, look what the daily is doing, right? The only way I would like this if it's gonna break out of 13 and maybe can possibly go test these highs. But while it's stuck within this consolidation, it's nothing fun here to watch. Also, look at this pre-market activity. It's just not great, right? So you want to avoid that type of pre-market activity. Again, not telling you that this is not going to do anything great. Maybe later on in the morning, you tune in around 10:30 after you watch the ones that are really active with some good volume, with some good pre-market activity, and see what that's doing. But right now, it's not looking great at all. Let's head over to Baba. So we have Baba from Tobias Trading is giving us Baba here. So Baba, let's remove some of these levels. This morning 419, it is down 1.3. Again, it looks like it's bouncing off, not bouncing, but it's kind of sitting around this support area that we have here that was prior resistance or resistance and now support. Could be interesting if it loses this moving average and heads towards the bottom, but I think right now I'm not seeing anything all that great on Baba. And for me personally, Baba is just very difficult to trade, guys. Do not have a good read on the way Baba trades, right? So I tend to stay away from it. There's others that traded very well. Pre-market activity right now looks okay, decent. It's getting a little choppy right here. But again, Baba tends to have a horrible pre-market activity. So this could be actually a great pre-market activity for this type of stock, right? But again, I'm gonna bypass Baba today. It's just one of those stocks that doesn't do well with me when I trade it. KRTX, this is the one that went bananas a couple of days ago. So KRTX, this one is the pre-market is a little bit all over the place. We did have two great days, as you can see here, heading higher, hitting 150 now. So again, we're on the third day of this parabolic move. So I don't even know how you would trade this, right? So you got to be extra cautious on this one. 65,000 shares traded so far. We can add it here to the low flow team. This is one you can watch. Just be cautious on this one here. Next we have Tesla, possible breakout. Let's take a look. We've got 2 more minutes, so we'll do a few more. So Tesla on here is pre-market's a little bit all over the place. There's nothing really going on with Tesla right now. What I do like on the daily though is that you're getting above this area of resistance, right? So this,
Breakout.
yeah, it's a possible breakout here at 353. So if it can hold this here and continue to test this high of the day of the pre-market one more time, you got an opportunity to head to 370, right? This thing can move. If anybody's here short sitting down and their stops get triggered, this thing can squeeze nicely. So Tesla has a great daily chart, guys. It's been very, very strong since it gapped up over here back on the 290 area. It's been strong ever since, and now it looks like it can possibly break out. But pre-market's not looking all that great at the moment. Good one to watch though for turbo breakout, turbo breakup. So you can definitely look at that one. Next, what do we have? So Tesla, we looked at that one. Baba, we have that one. What else, guys? Disney's on news. Let's look at Disney.
And Disney's not doing anything right now. It's barely been traded. There's no volume and it's not even gapping down. But Urbano's saying that there's news of
Mm-hmm.
a data breach,
Oh,
stealing of passwords. So
yeah.
I'm surprised it's not hit a little bit more on that news.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't gapped down more than that. We saw what happened to Macy's yesterday with just a little bit of rumor and it sold off nicely. So, again, not doing much right now. Facebook, let's take a look at Facebook. Also, not doing a lot. Wait, that's still Disney. Hold on a second. Let's look at Facebook. Yeah, so Facebook not doing all that much right now, guys. It's pretty quiet from what it seems like. Let's look at T as the last one, and then we'll get into some announcements. So T at the moment, which is AT&T, this stock tends to trade a little choppy. You could tell by the daily chart too. I mean, just look at this daily, how choppy it is. Today it looks like something's happening right now. Right, 8 o'clock, we got some volume coming in. It's
Yeah,
dropping here. Um,
they got a big downgrade last night, amongst other things, and
mhm.
they're subject to some of this Spectrum auction stuff that's been hitting uh, high as well. So that but I think it's primarily their downgrade that's really got them
Gotcha. So I added this one because it actually looks a little bit interesting, guys, with it dropping like that. So we'll definitely take a look on this one. SWI, I'm just going over a few more. This one here is not looking all that good. I don't have a lot of information on it neither. So it looks like no volume has been traded this morning. But again, just look at this daily, guys. This is daily. It's not looking great at all. So be cautious with this one. Doesn't look like it's really anything that's going to trade very well this morning. QD, two big red days here today. You can get a possible continuation. Right now, no pre-market activity. You got some volume on there, but nothing really clean of QD at the moment. All right, let's get to announcements, guys. We'll come back and do some levels. We also have some more that are popping up into our gappers list. We'll take a look at those and see what's happening there. But let's head over to our announcements here. Here we go. Bring this up. I gotta say, I'm coming back. I'm a little rusty. I will get better. But it's taking some getting used to just taking a week off. All right, here we go. Oh, that's the wrong screen. There it is.
Yeah, guys, so a quick run of announcements this morning. New scanner contest is going on through the month of November. There's a forum post. Maybe will put up the link. Create a new scanner, or it can be old to you, but new to the room. Put the info in the post in the forums, and then the community will vote after November is over, and you can win either an iPad, or Andrew mentioned an iPhone 11 Pro if you'd rather have or need that. So taking a look at that. Not only that, but you'll have the pride of having your scanner added to the scanners that we keep up in the room for everybody to watch all day. Also, #1 best trader competition that DAS is currently running. You can check out their leaderboard at onebesttrader.com. That's the #1 besttrader.com. If you're watching the pre-market, you'd like to either upgrade from a monthly membership and you're in the room, or you'd like to become a member, you can get a lifetime membership for a 35% discount. Use the promo code pre-market LT35. Keep in mind that is for the one-time payment option of lifetime, not the installment. And then if you're watching on YouTube and you'd like to try the room out for a week, without any risk, meaning it does not auto-renew, does not turn into another kind of membership. It's just 1 week. Come see what it's about. See if you enjoy it. You can use the promo code premarket24 for the intro and get a discount there. Also, if you hit subscribe button and the notification bell, you'll be notified whenever we go live with new content. That is it, Carlos.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm, for that.
All right, guys, and there is also a lifetime. I just got reminded. Next lifetime webinar, member webinar, is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, excellent. All right, guys, let's get to it. Also, for those that made the yesterday the tax webinar, that was very, very insightful, guys. So a lot of good information there yesterday.
I was going to mention that if you guys weren't able to mention that, I know it's on YouTube, but it's so because YouTube videos get buried, especially as much content as we put out. It is in, I believe, the Education Center. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked this morning if it's been posted. It's very helpful if you are a U.S. based trader subject to U.S. taxes, and especially if you're new. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with that season coming up in a month or two. All right, guys. So let's see what we have here. Let's just go over a gappers list. I know there was another one that popped up. Safe. Let's look at Safe and see what's going on here. So Safe, you do got some volume 106. Not looking great pre-market wise. Also the daily. Daily's a little funky here as well. So again, not sure I like this one this morning to put on our watch list as of right now. You do have some chop going on here, and also just the pre-market is also not looking all that great. Even though we have 106, we're gapping up 2.5. It is hitting our scanners. We talk about these type of stocks in class 2, where they just don't look all that great. So we'll keep an eye on it. If it can get going here and break out of some of these levels, maybe it can get better. But at the moment, it's not looking all that great. All right, guys, we got a lot on here. Let's start with This one is bouncing back a bit, 817,000 shares traded right now. Daily chart, again, this is one we has had a couple of hits, couple of red days on here, pretty big, going all the way from 25 down to $6. So again, we're kind of getting a small little bounce here. Pre-market activity starting to get a little bit better. You're starting to see a little pattern forming here. Looks like it's trying to get above these numbers, hopefully over to 8. So it could be interesting. As far as levels, let's do some new ones on here. We do have 1128. That's an area of support where this thing came down from. The high of our pre-market right now is sitting at 715, so we'll see what it does there. Our low of our pre-market is not pretty important right now because you do have the previous day close. So this is more important. The previous day close line, I'll keep that one on there. And then you have the low from the last 2 days and the highs from the last 2 days as well. That are going to be significant levels on this stock today. Now between 1128 and this gap here, let's go over to this side and see if we can find something. That's a big gap to fill if this thing decides to run and recover. That's a possibility. And we do have an area, nice area of support right on here. Look at this, guys. So prior resistance that becomes support. That's the type of level you want to have on your chart. So 962 is a great level to put on there. I don't think you need to add any more to this one. Not one of my favorites one out of the group this morning, but if it can get going and start squeezing some people here, it can give some good opportunities towards the upside. So we'll see what comes out of that one. MYOV is one that I expect you're going to get something out of it, whether it sells off or maybe it runs up again like we have seen with KRTX. You can see a couple of continuation days were very nice. This morning, this one is a little bit all over the place when it comes to the pre-market action itself. There's no pattern, no nice flow forming here. But for me personally, I'm not going to watch this one, guys, just because, again, I just don't think that's going to trade all that well. I could be wrong, but I want to watch something else that's a little more solid, like a TGT. TGT right now, this pre-market activity is just great. I'm looking forward to see what this one's going to do at the open. So I'm going to remove MYOV from my list. I don't want to get FOMO if this thing starts doing something crazy. So I'll look at TGT. I like TGT's at, believe, all-time high we mentioned already. So 123.69 is the high of your pre-market. Towards the bottom, you don't have any levels in between here besides the high from 2 days ago right there. And that also was an area a couple of weeks ago right on here as well, back in the end of October. And you don't really have anything else. What you could do in this type of situation, you could mark this level here, this 119.38 of the 5 minute. You can see several times in this pre-market that level has been tested. So I'm going to mark that down. That seems to be an important level for target. Every time it hits that level, it's been bought back up. So that's a good one to have on there. And then we're all-time high, guys, so you don't have any other more significant levels that you can mark on this list. So that's target. CGC, on the other hand, still not a great pre-market activity. It looks like it's trying to put a bounce here. They got some news of possibly, some legalizing marijuana. But again, that's something that's who knows how long that's going to take and how significant this catalyst is to be able to get this going. So we have a level here at 1663. I'm going to mark this one down. This from the gap down that we had a couple of days ago. Excuse me. And then we do have 1789 as a possible area here. That was a great support. Look how this thing came over to this level and bounced back nicely. And then above that, you have the opening of this gap, the start of this gap at 1847. So that's all I'm going to mark here for CGC. This might not make our final list, but I do like that there's some volume starting to come in here. Right, so if this volume can get steady, get some momentum going, possibly break out of this pre-market high, this could be nice for a possible long. So we'll keep an eye on it. Towards the bottom, you got plenty. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So you do not need to add any more on here. And Cron is the other one that, excuse me, has a similar daily chart as well. A possible bounce here, but again, pre-market is also nasty. Just not looking great at all. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, losing my voice there. I had to get some water. So yeah, pre-market looks actually even worse than CGC. So I'm going to remove this one. I'll watch CGC, which tends to trade better than all these past stocks. That's the one that really trades the cleanest out of all the ones that we really watch. Lowe's is another one, guys. Doesn't have as clean as pre-market activity as Target does, TGT, but also one that can possibly put in a nice run. High of a pre-market sitting at 120.11. Towards the bottom, you do have a level. Pre-market lows all the way down here. It's not going to be in play today unless this thing decides to completely do a 180 and head south. So it's too far for the price action, but we do have this level right here, the high from 2 days ago. That's a nice level there. We also have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, plus the previous day close right in here as well. So again, we got tons of levels on lows towards the bottom. Now let's see here. Oh, we have this beautiful one here as well. We got to mark this one down. Also, guys, going back towards April, you have a beautiful level here at 1825. And what I mean beautiful, look how clean it is, right? Comes up, sells down, comes up, hits this 118.92, and then drops back down, right? A change in direction like this on the daily, that signifies a good level of support and resistance. So that's what you want to see. You see a couple of those on this chart, right? Here, nice support, right? Changing direction. Here, another nice support, changing direction. These are the levels that are so clear. What Andrew says, they grab you by the face, right? That's his saying. When you see those type of levels, you want to mark them down because everybody else is going to be looking at those same levels. Now, is Lowe's all-time high as well, guys? Let's go back. Are we at all-time high with Lowe's? It looks like we are. Man, look at this thing. This thing has been ripping nicely over a couple of years. Yeah, I think we are all-time high. Yep. So all-time high for Lowe's, guys. That's also interesting here as well. Definitely worth watching this one this morning. AMRN also it's got some volume, guys. This one is down quite a bit. Still not a great pre-market activity from what we saw earlier. Still seems to be a little choppy. The daily doesn't seem all that clean. I'm gonna remove these levels. Let's get some clean ones on here. We have traded this one in the past, and when it is in play, it does trade well. I'm not gonna tell you that it's not a bad stock. It trades very clean when it is in play, and when it does have the volume. The last couple of days, we've seen significant volume for what it usually does. So we have a low of a pre-market sitting at 2116. Below that we have 2054, and then we have this one here at 1890. And then towards the top, plenty of levels, previous day close, highs and lows from these last two trading days. So we got plenty up there, and then towards the bottoms, we got some clean ones here. Again, on the fence on this one because I know it can trade very well. We do have shares for short also, so if it can lose this 21.15, we can possibly head towards this 20.54. We got to be mindful of this moving average in the way here, but again, we got to see how this one develops later on as we get closer to 9:30. URBN is trying to put in some kind of moves here. Still a nasty pre-market activity. Just look at the way this is trading here. It's just not clean at all. Not a nice flow to it. But we do have some volume. 319,000 shares traded. We are down 16% on this one, so definitely worth having on our list. Now going back, we do have a great area of support that I want to mark down here, 2370. I know it's pretty close to the pre-market low at 2390, but this actually is a more significant level than the pre-market low right now. This 2370, you can see here how that was support. That's too big. How it was, resistance, and then becomes support, that 2370. You want to have that on your list. If it loses that, the next area I see on here is down at 2316. Let's mark that down. Towards the top, guys, high of the pre-market sitting at 2472, so that's great. And look how 2472, again, areas of resistance right on here. Right at 2473. Above that, we do have one at 2536. You do have to be careful with that 25. Usually these whole dollar numbers are going to react a certain way. And then above that, I'm going to do one more here at 2591 in case this thing decides to head north and start closing this huge gap that it has right now, down 15.7. PDD, another one that we have traded. This one has a great pre-market activity, a nice, beautiful drop here. Seems to be finding a base around 31. Our low of our pre-market sitting at 3080. So we'll mark that down, 3080. You can see if you go back, 3080 has been an area of support in the past. If we lose that, we have another level down here at 2999, and then a possible one right here before the gap happens at 2896. So 3 levels towards the bottom that we can hope to hopefully crack if we're going to sell down and get some good movement out of this. Towards the top, above that, we have the pre-market high sitting at 32 even, and above that you have several levels on here. So I'm going to start with first this one on here, 3389, another one on here at 35. I think that I'll do one more, another one on here at 3686. So the reason why I have these levels, look at the way the daily, I went off this daily here, but go back and see how these levels are reacting. 3390 resistance here, 3560 also resistance a couple of days here, and you have 3686, which was the change in direction. Hit 3686 and then started heading right back down, back to this 3560 and back to this 3389. So levels are tested over and over again, guys, tend to be significant. And what happens is when we get to those levels again, guess what? Traders like us are going to look over and see, okay, we reversed here, we took profits here, so you're going to get some reaction out of these levels when we get to when the price action approaches it. T on this list, so T at the moment, wow, dropping down even further. Wow, look at the volume. Yeah, T is nice today, guys. Hopefully can trade this well at the open. Again, T is known to have some really bad choppy trading. You could tell by the daily chart here. But again, it looks like today we're getting ready to put in a nice day, looks like. So towards the bottom, I'm going to mark down the low of the pre-market. That might change. It's not going to be as significant as this level here, right? This 36.58. We bounced from there several times, 1, 2, and 3, right? And it's an area, guys. Of course, I'm not hitting it right on the head, but it's an area. And then below that, you do have the bottom of this gap at 33. 36.33. That's another one as well. Not as clean, but a beautiful one here, all the way down at 35.43. I don't think we'll get there, but anything's possible. Heading towards the top, you have the low from yesterday right on here, so that's perfect. Look how that level, I'm going to draw a line right across that low from yesterday. Look how that has been reacting to this price action. Although this is a very choppy daily chart, you can see several days opening and closing around the low of yesterday, right? And then above that, you have the previous day close right next to a moving averages. Plenty of levels towards the top above the previous day closing. I don't think we're heading in that direction today. I'll be shocked if this thing can get back to green. It's down quite a bit right now, so we'll see how that reacts. All right, so we have some low flow stocks here that are active today. ARAV looks like it's giving it all back. Once a stock starts selling off too much after a huge run like this, you got to be very, very careful what it's going to do at the open. So just be aware that this thing went up to 30 bucks in the pre-market and it's now down back to 15 with just 2.2 million shares traded, guys. I mean, this is risky stuff. You don't want to be messing around with this. So if you're not experienced, if you're just starting out, just completely avoid these type of stocks. We can make a lot of great trades with what we have up here. We do not need to go chasing waterfalls, down here in this type of stock. So just leave that alone. But you know what? We'll do some levels. We'll do some levels just for the people that are going to trade, that are a little more experienced, that like to trade low flows and have experience trading low flows and have proven good risk management. Right? It's very, very important. So we do have 29.54, 29.60 high of the pre-market. We do have 20.71 off the 5 minute. The reason I like this, you could tell a lot of activity happening around 20.71. Then towards the bottom, we have this moving average. I'm going to mark this down also, 13.91. We don't have a lot to go off on the daily. So again, these moving averages are not as strong as the ones we get off the daily chart. Another one here, 9.74. All right, next, CGIX. So CGIX at the moment. Just check here. CGIX at the moment. Again, this actually looks like a better pre-market activity. This holding is not selling off. We do have a high sitting at 680. So we'll mark the high of that. We have another pop here sitting at 580. All the way over here, 796. Let's see what we have towards the bottom. Low of the pre-market is pretty much where the highs and lows of the last two trading days are located. We do have another here at 315. Another here at 388. You can see several days using support and resistance, and then it just gets really crappy here. So again, not a clean area of levels at the moment, but I am going to piggyback off some prior data here. 488. You can see this day here, these couple of days here, as they're bouncing off that 488 $5 area. So be on the lookout for that. Again, with these type of stocks, we always remind you guys, be cautious. Also be aware of the price action. If this stock's moved 40-50 cents, that's a big move. So be mindful of that. Don't try to take a home run out of this every single time and hit it out of the park. Take profits if you move 40, 50, 75 cents on a stock like this in a matter of seconds. Because just like that, it can go the opposite direction. KRTX is losing it big time here, guys. So again, had 2 beautiful days. Now it's selling right back down. Yeah, I'm not going to watch this one today. I think the fun might be over on this one. I mean, it's just crazy. No, look at this. Going from 30 to 100. Then from 82 to 150. I mean, that's just outrageous.
I mean, you could obviously make a fortune trading that. At the same time, you get annihilated. So
yeah.
And I don't have any shares for short either. So shorting it could kill you. But another push from, what are we, 117 to 150 might be tough. So it won't be on my list.
Yep.
That is, Kyle K's exactly right. That's a boiler room kind of stock right there.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So this is what we have. Let's just recap real quick. We have let me know if I miss anything that starts to look interesting. I'm just gonna fine tune this list a little more. So we have I here, which seems to be getting some movements, trying to break out high, trying to put in a bounce off this 634 level we have down here. Some volume and block trades looks like are starting to come in. TGT is definitely one of my favorites. Going to watch this one this morning. It is at all-time high, very strong. 1.6 million shares traded so far. A nice clean pre-market activity on a stock that we know is gonna, it's not gonna drop on you or surprise you with some kind of crazy movements. CGC, I'm gonna take off, guys. I think it's just not looking all that great in the pre-market, and we do have some better ones like Target and Lowe's that I want to keep an eye on. Lowe's is great, guys. Both of these are at all-time high, I believe. So I'm not sure about Lowe's. Is Lowe's at all-time high, guys? I think it is. So we'll keep that one on there. I do like that. Also, AMRN. AMRN is just, again, it's one of these stocks that could have a horrible pre-market action and give you a great trading day. So I'm on the fence on this. I'm going to keep it for now, but I'm on the fence. I'm going to actually watch it as my final six. URBN, just very choppy, guys. It's got some volume. What I really like about this stock is the drop. It's got a big drop. So when you have stocks that drop so much like this, you tend to get something out of them, and that could be an hour or two later. It can start building a nice trend trade path, possibly closing this gap. Or if it loses this support where it's been sitting at, right? If it loses the support that it has found, then it can really flush down to the next area of support. We've seen that happen quite often. So, again, it's one of these stocks you got to kind of sit on it a little bit, wait for it to develop, and then take an opportunity. PDD, I do like the pre-market activity on PDD. We have seemed to have found a bottom at 30.87. So I'm gonna hold that on. If we flush below 30.87, that 29.99 looks amazing. If we can get above 32, this 33 actually, the whole dollar number is what you want to get to. That also looks great for a possibility. So I definitely like the way this one is trading in the pre-market, and I love the drop on this one also. T continues to flush. Small pullback here. Again, these are not big moves because T does not move a lot. I mean, if you look on the daily, you would think this is like a $5 drop, and when you look at it, it's only a couple of cents, right? It's not all that crazy. So I'm gonna look at that one today, and then we have some low flow stuff. I'm not gonna look at any of these guys of the low flow stock that we have here. I'm just having it here for reference, but I will not be looking at any of these or trading them today. All right, guys, that is all we have. Norm, anything else before we sign off here?
No, just a reminder that the interview with Robert Green from Green Trader Tax was yesterday at noon here in the chat room, and it has been posted on YouTube. And if it has not yet, it will be posted in the Education Center. So that should be of interest to people.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. Make sure to comment and like. We definitely appreciate you guys being with us this morning and every morning as we do this and prepare together. Take care, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. Trade safe.
Trade safe, guys. Have a good day.